Hello, welcome to our official Way of the Womb orientation call. I want to start by just saying thank you to all of you who showed up live and to all of you who are listening to the replay. Thank you so much. It means the world to me that you hear the calling of womb work and that you've taken time out of your day to tune into this. So, thank you so much. This call is really just an opportunity for you to get to know our Way of the Womb training a bit more. We're going to be going over all like the little and the big details, and we'll also be having a lot of spaciousness for you to ask any necessary questions that are on your heart at the end. And also, if you're listening to the replay, just know that you can always send me a direct message, whether that's on Instagram or Facebook, or even taking time to email me with your questions. I am always available to drop in with you one-on-one. We can get on a phone call, send me a message, whatever works best for you. I'm super available and honestly in service to everyone that hears the calling to join this training, because the work that we're going to be doing in Way of the Womb is very, very profound and very needed. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into orientation. If you have any questions, know that you can drop them in the chat box and we will get to them at the end. So just bear with me for a moment while I share the screen. Okay, my loves. All right, just give me a thumbs up if you can see the screen. Okay, yay. All right, I'm so happy all of you can see it. Before we go into all of this information and all like the logistics and the nitty gritty of Way of the Womb, I would love to take a moment to just all drop in together, grounding into our womb space, and also calling forward the essence of our training Way of the Womb. I am a firm believer that every offering that we create, even our own business, has its own soul, its own energetic signature. And so why don't we go ahead and meet her before we go into who she is? I want you to feel her for yourself. So if you are in a good place to close your eyes, please do so if that feels comfortable. And if you aren't, I just want to invite you to begin to take a few deep breaths into your entire body. So let's go ahead and take a deep inhale together. And exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. One more deep inhale and exhale into the body. And now let's go ahead and bring the breath to the womb, inhaling as deeply as you possibly can into your lower diaphragm. And the exhale, letting out a sound. Three more, just like that. Inhaling into the womb. And exhaling. One more deep inhale. And exhale. Invitation to move and just continuing a natural rhythmic breath in and out of your body. If you need to stretch, open her. You can do this now too. And as you move and as you breathe here, I just want to invite you to begin to feel your womb, feel your hips, feel your pelvis, feel your feminine anatomy, your inner labia, your outer labia, your entire vulva, seeing if you can even feel your cervix, perhaps pulsing upon your pelvic floor. Waking up your womb. It can even be helpful to massage the hips or tap on the hips or the womb space and just say, wake up, womb, it's time to wake up. Wake up, womb, it's time to wake up. Wake up, womb, it's time to wake up. Waking up your womb, even massaging circles from your bell around your belly from the top of your sternum down to your pubic bone, massaging in little circles. Ah, wake up, womb. It's time to wake up. Beautiful. And I'm sure you can start to feel her come online. And as we move forward, I just want to invite you to take a moment to show gratitude and reverence for your womb here today, continuing to breathe with her, but really starting to slow down and ground into her here. Telling your womb, thank you. Thank you for leading me. Thank you for reminding me how important it is to tend to my female body. Thank you for guiding me to heal and for awakening my calling to help other women heal as well. Showing reverence to the womb, and just notice how this allows your whole body to soften. And now, because it is your womb that has called you here, it's your womb that's calling you to the way of the womb to become a facilitator in womb work. I want to just welcome your womb to hold you in her vision, for your womb to show you why she's called here today, whether this comes through a vision or a sound or just an energy that you feel enter your body or move from your body. Just taking a moment to connect to that calling of why Way of the Womb is calling to you, why you're curious about her. Perhaps you've already enrolled, or perhaps you're on the fence and you need more information. But right here, right now, this is your opportunity to just feel and invoke your calling to become a womb healer, to deepen your devotion in the field of womb work. And from this space of connectivity, we're going to begin to call in the essence of Way of the Womb. So, this beautiful, rich, red, blossomed, unfurling, velvety, golden essence is how I feel Way of the Womb. And so, we're just going to begin to call her in. I want you to pay attention to what you sense, what you feel in your body. Perhaps you see things. Just again, beginning to call in this 9-month facilitator training that is here to guide women to become a masterful hands on healer in somatic and hands on womb work. Calling in this training that's here to teach you how to tend to women's bodies with your hands, how to work with herbs that nourish the womb, how to massage pain and trauma out of women's bodies so that they can access their power. A training that is here to help you expand into the fullness of your purpose and begin practicing work that our world needs. Calling her in. And I want you to just welcome Way of the Womb to stand at the edge of your aura. She doesn't need to come in your body. She doesn't need to be all up in you, right? But just welcome her into your space. And we're just going to welcome Way of the Womb to be with us throughout this orientation call. We're going to welcome her, dear Way of the Womb. I welcome you to guide me as I show women this beautiful program that we've co-created together and that we're bringing to the world. May you move me, may you speak through me, and may you open our hearts to see the fullness of what you can do for us and the women that we are meant to serve. Thank you. Thank you. I humbly bow in gratitude. Mm. Alrighty. You can take a few deep breaths to ground and just begin to flutter your eyes open, perhaps looking around the room, stretching, moving. We're going to go ahead and begin, but feel free to stay in a deep state and listen. And just like I said before, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat and we will answer them at the end of this call. Okay, so welcome to Way of the Womb orientation. I'm so grateful all of you got to meet her essence and just begin to invoke her into your life. And, I want to begin by saying that this training program has been a long time coming for me. I have been devoted to the practice of womb healing since 2017 when I was sexually assaulted as a young girl. And womb work is the only thing that helped me get out of that dark time in my life and actually find my sovereignty and find my power again after becoming a survivor. And through my own womb healing and learning different modalities, studying with different teachers, I just began to feel like, okay, this is my life's work, and it would actually be a disservice for me to not practice womb healing, because I know if I needed it, other women need it. And I know some of you have told me that also in your applications, and that you also feel like you were initiated through your own personal experience. And after years and years and years of practicing womb healing in my private practice, I've just been asked over and over again, can you train me on how to do a womb massage? Can you train me on how to do womb healing? And my business, a lot of times I'm guiding women through healing their own womb, or I'm doing sessions on them, right? And so this is a whole new experience to take these years of studying and mastering how to work with the womb and share it with all of you, so that you can take this work and spread it to so many other women out there in the world. Because I firmly believe my calling and my mission in the world is bigger than me, and the way that it's bigger than me is that I'm not the only one who's supposed to be doing this work. You are too. And so if you hear the calling to join Way of the Womb, I deeply bow to you, because this is a really big deal. So Way of the Womb is a 9-month facilitator training to become a masterful hands-on healer and somatic healer who is guided by her feminine wisdom. We begin on February 22nd, 2025. And so I want to touch on this point that I said here, who is guided by feminine wisdom. Way of the Womb is really unique in the way that we actually are working with the innate intelligence of a woman's body, right? So we're looking at her emotional intelligence, we're looking at her soma and the narratives and the stories that have been built up in her body through her experience. And we bring her hands-on healing and somatic healing to help heal these narratives and heal these stories, to connect her back to her feminine wisdom. Because when a woman is connected to her feminine wisdom, she's whole into her own. She's actually in the wholeness of her feminine body, but also her feminine psyche. And a woman who is connected to her feminine wisdom is uninhibited, in my belief. She has the voice is activated, her womb is activated. She allows herself to be sensual. She allows herself to process her emotions, to cry. She's not scared of the depth that is needed for her to invoke her womanhood. So Way of the Womb this is what we're doing when we're practicing Way of the Womb sessions, and we're facilitating in this way, is to connect women back to their feminine wisdom. So about Way of the Womb. Way of the Womb is a feminine healing modality that teaches you, my love, how to work with the feminine body so that you can heal your clients' big issues and connect them directly to their power center, the womb. And so one way that we can look at, the expression of Way of the Womb is, say, for instance, we have a woman that has had a lot of stress and a lot of experiences that have happened to her, say, for instance, from men, whether she went through some sort of sexual trauma, or perhaps she had issues with her father. There's a pattern that keeps repeating to where that she can't trust the men in her life. Perhaps her father cheated on her mother, and from a young age she just built this belief that she cannot trust men. So in Way of the Womb, we believe that these stories and these narratives and these experiences actually get stored and live in our womb space, and the body in the womb will hold on to that in which we aren't ready to feel until we can actually feel it, so that we can heal it. So say this example of a woman who can't trust men because of her history. What we do is, that's a big issue. What we do is we actually go into her body and we tend to her body. You can see this photo here. It's from a beautiful womb healing session that I did a few years ago. And we actually massage the body. So we're tending to the breasts, we're tending to the womb hara space, which is her beautiful belly that you see there. And then in some cases, we actually do internal pelvic for de-armoring for our clients. And we work head to toe to tend to the connective tissue in her body, because the fascia and the connective tissue in the body is where these memories and the emotional intelligence is stored in our body. So if our client is having trust issues with men, well, let's tend to the body and figure out where that's living in the body, and then help her access that part of her body to feel and invoke and actually bring up the emotions that haven't been dealt with, so that they can be released and she can return back to wholeness. I've witnessed this issue come up many times with my clients, and it's actually saved marriages. It's actually brought women, their dream partner. It's actually allowed women to heal their own masculine and the way that they're showing up in their world, and the way that they actually trust their drive, their willpower. And so a lot of times, I'll get into this later, I'll wait on that. But a lot of times we need to tend to the body, and the body can get overlooked. And so in Way of the Womb, our devotion is tending to women's bodies by connecting them directly to their womb. If a woman has a lot of trauma stored in her womb or old pain or unprocessed emotions, then she's going to be living from the survival of her womb. She's going to be in survival mode, And what we're trying to do is get women out of survival mode and actually into the power of their womb. So like I said, the way we practice this is hands-on womb work, actually massaging the womb. We do practice somatic storytelling and somatic therapy. We do work with vaginal steaming, working with herbal medicines that help tonify and heal the tissue of the vaginal tissue in the womb. We do pelvic care, internal pelvic floor, massage and mapping, tantric breath work, so actually working with the life force energy in a woman's body and invoking it through the breath. And we also work with Taoist feminine healing practices. So Taoism is a brilliant, very old philosophy and practice of working with our vitality through sexual energy. And there are brilliant practices like Qigong or, the Way of Tea, like I practice, that help us really build the cultivation of our feminine energy, of our masculine energy, of our yin and our yang, and working with this practice is to actually strengthen our vitality. And this is really, really important for womb work. So these are our practices that you'll be training in Way of the Womb. And all of it is to bring women back to their power, their health, their vitality, their pleasure, and their purpose. So our core philosophy that I slightly mentioned before is to get women in their bodies. So a little story about me. I started as an energy healer. I started training in energy healing when I was about 14. I told you that I went through a traumatic experience when I was 19 years old, where I was sexually assaulted by a man who was actually giving me a healing session. That's a story for another time. And through healing my own womb and practicing womb work, I tried to start healing it with energy healing. So I tried to actually heal this trauma with energy healing. And I kept coming up against only healing it a little bit, or I would shift the energy, but then it would go back. And long story short, I found that I can't heal my womb if I'm not tending to my womb, and that actually needs hands-on work. So I started to heal my own womb. And as I began to heal my own womb, I stepped even deeper into my purpose as a facilitator of sound healing and meditation. And I began also a coaching practice. So there was this point in my life where I was coaching and I was helping women through women's work, but I was so scared to tend to the womb with my clients, even though that was like the deepest practice in my personal life. And slowly but surely, I started to integrate what I had been practicing on myself and the teachings that I had learned from my teachers to actually start bringing womb work to my clients. Then I went on to train with Maya Knight in somatics, and also she's the one that taught me how to do internal pelvic floor work. And I also learned from Naomi Love, her beautiful, beautiful school that she used to have, as well as the Yoni Pleasure Palace trainings and the Yoni Temple School. So I really started to expand my knowledge of like, okay, this is working for me, but like, how do I teach this to other people? And what I found when I started to actually bring hands-on healing to my clients is that women don't need to talk about our experiences. We don't need to loop our stories. We don't necessarily need to be coached. We need to get in our bodies. And when we get into our bodies, not only do we heal, but we step into the fullness of who we are by actually using our breath and our sound and our movement and our hands and connecting to our womanhood. That is how we transform. And so Way of the Womb is a professional skill. It's a modality that you can take into your practice to help your clients get into their bodies, step into their power, and start actually animating the version of themselves that they want to be in this life. Yes, there is space for coaching. Yes, there is space for energy work, and we're going to get into that in this training. But most importantly, we believe that the number one thing that's missing from the personal healing and development world of women's work is actually getting women in their bodies, and not just dancing, not just moving, not just doing somatic experiences, but actually bringing their hands and bringing your hands to their bodies to help them get even deeper into their bodies, heal the connective tissue and everything that they've been holding on to. So, Way of the Womb is a modality training and a business mastermind. I'll say that again since I stumbled. Way of the Womb is a modality training and a business mastermind. This actually makes our training very, very unique. And I will say that I have looked at so many trainings. There are so many amazing womb healers out there. I've taken some of their trainings, like I said before. And oftentimes, what I even experienced is that I would go through a modality training, and there would be this period where I ended the training and I didn't quite feel ready to practice, right? I didn't quite know where I wanted to take this practice, this modality, and actually apply it and my purpose and how to create a business from what I was studying. So it was really important to me that in this training that we not only taught you the modality of how to do hands-on womb healing work, how to guide women through group healing experiences, how to do vaginal steaming, how to do all the stuff. Yes, I want to teach you these modalities and these practices, but most importantly, I want to teach you how to create a beautiful, sustainable, profitable business that is here for the long run. And so, Way of the Womb is a modality training. We're going to train you in hands-on womb work and somatic facilitation. And it is a business mastermind. We're going to teach you how to actually create a sustainable business from feminine healing work. And we're going to have space for conversations. You're going to have a one-on-one session with me. We have business mastermind calls every single month so that you can bring your projects, your offerings, your questions, like what you're struggling with, your celebrations, everything into the business mastermind so that we can help refine your business and bring it even more powerfully into the world. Like I said, we have a business mastermind, but we also have bi-weekly training calls. So our bi-weekly training calls are taking place every Saturday or Sunday, sorry, at 11 a.m. CST. And this might actually change depending on everybody within the group. So once we officially start enrollment on February 22nd, we'll have that call and we'll also look at, does this day work for everyone, right? And we might actually change the call because we're going to be together for 9 months, right? So I want to make sure that if we are having calls on this date every single month, that it works for everybody, and I'm open to changing it. So this is just something to be aware of, that might change as we all come together, or it might change the same or stay the same. But yeah, so we have bi-weekly training calls, online sanctuary. This is where all of our recordings of our training calls, practices, assignments, everything is going to be stored. It's freaking beautiful and works so seamlessly. We have space for business consulting within our mastermind. You're going to get a 45-minute one-on-one session with me. We have a 4-day in-person immersion, which is going to take place in Austin, Texas. We'll get into that later in this call. And also in this training, you get a dedicated practicum. And what this means is that a practicum is basically space where you get to practice the modality. So we're going to have actual practice hours that you're going to need to meet in order to facilitate this work. And that's all going to be structured and guided within this training. We're going to help you find people to practice on. And the beautiful thing is that through this practice work, you are going to get real life testimonials, so that you can actually have women praising your work, talking about it so that you can get feedback and then therefore share it with your community. I think this is really, really powerful. So yes, this is a 9-month training, and we're going to get into the nitty gritty of like anatomy and sexuality and like feminine bodies and like the somatics, but also we're going to keep it playful. I don't know if but I am a facilitator, a teacher who likes to keep it real. I'm sure you can feel me from this, right here. But I like to keep it real. I love your responses to that. I love to keep it real. I love to keep it playful. I love to make sure it's serving you. And I don't like to get lost in the sauce and too much of the like analytical stuff, but I am a nerdy mystic. So I love to go into the science and the anatomy, but we like to keep it fun. And so, like I said, you're going to have many confident, sexy, nerdy moments. You're going to have moments of connecting the dots to your own personal healing, but most importantly, you're going to learn how to grow your business with a professional skill. So this is really, really a 9-month training that's here to hold you and your purpose in the world and where you want to go and where you want to expand, and give you a actual modality and facilitator training that can help you sharpen your skills, but also give you advice and support so that you can take these skills and bring it to the world in a very potent way. It's going to be epic. Yay, 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 yay. It is going to be epic. So we have our in-person immersion, and I have a good bit to say about this. Our Way of the Womb immersion is primarily here for you to get those practice hours, to get practice doing hands-on womb healing sessions, to all connect with each other, to learn how to facilitate group ceremonies. But also it's an opportunity for us to do the training work that needs to happen in person. So you probably heard me say before, there's no replacement for in-person work, right? So we can do stuff online just like we are here now, and there's a lot of power there, and there's a lot of healing there, but nothing can replace the healing and the potency of in-person work. So our in-person immersion is here for us to feel that tangible medicine and magic that is here in Way of the Womb. Our in-person immersion will be taking place in Austin, Texas. I'm going to welcome you to my home. We're going to hang out. We're going to have a garden party. And we're also going to be dropping into our training materials. I am currently talking to a beautiful sanctuary here in Austin about renting their space for our 2 big training days. So it'll be kind of a hybrid of having the immersion at my house and then having a beautiful space to practice in. More details will be coming on that as we, close up enrollment and start actually, moving through Way of the Womb. But this immersion is going to take place on May 22nd through 25th. May 22nd is going to be a day where we're all going to come together and meet each other. I'm going to host a garden party. We're going to eat. We're going to break some bread. We're going to tune in. We're going to set intentions and really start to open up the sacred space for our immersion. The 23rd and the 24th are going to be our big training days, and then the 25th is going to be kind of like a grounding day where we kind of bring all the moving pieces together and make sure that everybody is set up to go forward into the next chapter of our training. So this is by month 4. And my big thing is I want you to be ready to practice womb work by month 4. I want you to spend the first half of the training learning how to do breast massage, learning how to do womb massage, learning how to do these practices. And then by month 4, starting to share it with your community, starting to get your practice hours, so that by the end of our training, you have so much experience under your belt that it's like you're in the full expression of being a womb healer. Now, I understand that not everybody can make it to Austin, Texas. We have women in our training who are applying from London and Scotland and Australia and like all of these beautiful places in the world. And it can be kind of hard to get to the United States. So with that being said, if you aren't able to come to our in-person immersion, we do have an alternative for you. And this would be an at-home retreat. And we have a full kind of objective for you and how you're going to be moving through this weekend to make sure that you're getting the practice hours that this in-person immersion does provide. And then we also have, we're also going to be recording all of our training sessions. So anytime that I'm giving a transmission or I'm teaching in the in-person retreat, you'll get a recording, both audio and visual recording of that time together so that you can still get that information. So if you're not able to make it to the in-person immersion, we are sad. We want you there. And also we understand that sometimes it doesn't logistically make sense, and we don't want that to stop you from joining our in-person immersion. If you have any more questions about that, you can totally drop a little question in our comment box. Okay, so the 4 sections of Way of the Womb are my mastery. It's taken me a long time to say this, but because it's taken me a long time to say this, I can say it now with 100% conviction that these 4 zones of feminine healing and women's work are my mastery. And this is what I'm going to be training you in specifically. Feminine anatomy and science. So the female body, the science of it, and how you can work with it as a facilitator to bring healing to a woman's life, not just her body, her entire life, right? So feminine anatomy and science, organic feminine business. I've been in the work of women's healing now for 7 years, going on 8. And I've learned what to do, what not to do, how to do it good, how to build a profitable business while doing really good work, making great money. But most importantly, doing really, really, really good work that is changing women's lives. That's not just a hubba bubba or all for show, but it's like we're actually changing women's lives. So organic feminine business for me is my understanding of how to grow a sustainable business that is serving the world, but also serving you. And so what I'm interested in is sustainable business. And when I use that word organic with feminine business, we're actually looking at your blueprint, how your work is meant to be shared with the world, how your work is meant to fulfill you and its purpose. And so I actually have the skill to build business plans, to build offerings, to build really big, beautiful, legacy worthy businesses that are nourishing and sustainable for the long run. So that's my jam. And then energetic and emotional intelligence. I've been training in this and learning and studying it since I was 14 years old. This is like my nerdy mystics, like, I love this work. The energetic and emotional intelligence is working with the nervous system, working with the fascia, working with the connective tissues, and understanding how our emotions are tied to the physical body. But more importantly, the energetic components of our body, so like the meridians and the connective tissues, how all this is talking to each other, and how we as facilitators can bring really deep transformational work to our clients through their emotional and energetic intelligence so that, yes, they feel better in their body, but most importantly, they feel better in their sense of self because the actual nature of who they are and their emotional intelligence is profoundly shifted through the work that we do. Number 4 is women's sexuality and vitality. This is like my jam. This is where my own personal practice and years of devotion come online. Learning how to heal my sexuality was a really, really big thing when I first started to heal my trauma. So learning how to heal my sexuality, how to reinvoke it was super challenging, but also so rewarding because it taught me what to do and how I can, really teach this to other women. And immediately women would start to come to me for how to heal their sexuality, how to heal their relationships. And it goes way more, it's way more than just, for lack of better words, masturbation, self-pleasure. It goes way deeper than that. It's like we're looking at the vitality, getting back to that life force, working with the womb as an energy center, how to circulate that energy through the body, working with jade egg practices and these Taoist practices to actually tonify and evoke vitality in the body, which then opens women's sexuality. So it's actually a full circle, because when we work with the anatomy and the science of the body, we become masters in it. We become very, very fine-tuned to the wisdom of feminine healing through the body. And then we look at, okay, how can we build a business through this that allows us to do great work and make great money, right? And then we get into the emotional and energetic intelligence. How can we actually expand what we learned through the physical anatomy and the science of women's bodies and how we want to serve women in their world through their bodies by actually healing their emotions and their energy and helping invigorate and expand who they are through the nervous system, and then expanding their lives through their sexuality and vitality. So this is like my mastery. This is like why hundreds of women have come to me to heal. This is why hundreds of women have hired me to teach them. And this is why I am qualified to teach you Way of the Womb. And quite honestly, this is why Way of the Womb is so different than so many trainings, because we're not just focusing on the pelvis. We're not just focusing on the womb. We're not just focusing on hands-on work. We're focusing on feminine anatomy and science through womb work. We're focusing on business, how to create a beautiful business that has a powerful legacy that brings your work to the world for a long time to come in a way that serves you and serves the world. We're working with the emotional and energetic intelligence of women's bodies and how that works with their womb, how that works with their nervous system and their own biological intelligence, and then how we can expand women's capacity through their womanhood, through their sexuality, through their vitality, and actually creating lifestyles that nourish their feminine. So it's not just hands-on womb work, it's a whole system, a whole philosophy, a whole modality that actually is offered as a lifestyle for the women that we work with, a step-by-step process for them to heal themselves with and for us to heal them with as well. It's my jam. Like, this is my jam. I love it. You could talk about it forever. I love that comment. Oh my gosh. Okay. How's everybody feeling? Cool. Yay. Okay. Thank you for staying with me. We're almost there. So I love this picture. You know, it's just a beautiful picture. I just feel like it really speaks to the delicacy of a woman's body, and like how when a woman is tended to, her natural beauty really just invokes, like, her own beauty way begins to pave the way of her life. Right? It's beautiful. Okay, so everything you will learn in Way of the Womb. We're going to actually go through the month by month modules and what you'll be training in Way of the Womb. We're going to, just for the sake of time, we are going to kind of move through this quickly. And if you have any questions on the specific parts, just know you can reach out to me personally and we can go into it more in depth. Don't be a stranger. I love talking to you. Okay, so month 1 is all about devotional womanhood. We're going to dive deep into the Way of the Womb core philosophy and our principal practices of feminine healing. So that being the womb story and, you know, the vertical and horizontal alignment of a woman's body, the power of somatic and expressive therapy, and nervous system and trauma study. So this is really our month to like really get to know the core of Way of the Womb as a modality and what we're doing and why we're doing it, and looking at our core practices and how we work with them to bring forward the full fruition of the work that we're here to do with our clients. Month 2 is all about womb work. So we're going to dive right in to feminine anatomy, how to do a womb massage on yourself, how to do internal yoni work on yourself. We're going to look at the art of womb steaming with herbs, and how to align the uterus, and the actual anatomy of sound and how that works through feminine healing. That's going to be really fun month. Month 3 is all about womb and heart coherence. So we're going to learn the art of breast massage, the art of feminine breath work, mapping the feminine heart with breast massage, hands-on work, which versus vibrational medicine work. So knowing the difference and knowing how to practice the difference, knowing when to use one versus the other. And then we're going to dive really deep into decoding the womb story. Month 4 is our in-person immersion here in Austin, Texas. It says dates to be determined, and the dates are, as of right now, May 23rd or May 22nd through 25th, and those dates might change, but they will likely be the same. In our in-person immersion, you're going to be learning how to hold a Way of the Womb ceremonial session. You're going to get hands-on practice hours with our peers. We're going to be doing ritual theater and somatic storytelling. We're going to be training you in how to facilitate group womb work. And like, this is a time to get cozy. You know, imagine yourself packing your, you know, your carry-on bag or your suitcase with your like most cozy clothes, your favorite, you know, leggings, or your favorite sweatpants and sweaters, or like your coziest dress, your warm fuzzy socks, you know, bringing all of your like potions and your oils and packing it all up to come and have like the most epic, yummy, cozy sleepover with your girls that you're training in Way of the Womb with. And the cool thing about this immersion, it's kind of like choose your own adventure. We're going to have our hours that we're together, but you get to choose your own accommodations, whether, you know, you want to stay on your own or if you want to stay with other women. I'm sure there'll be like sleepovers happening with each other, and we're going to be meeting for our deep work and having fun and having a good time. We're going to work out our trauma. We're going to have, practice sessions. It's going to be a good time. But the main point of our in-person immersion is to make sure that you get hands-on experience doing the hands-on work, you know? All right, awesome. So month 5 is all about women's sexuality. We're going to teach you about the history of Taoist sexuality, how to link the sex in the heart, yin cultivation, and the feminine cycle. I'm going to be teaching you about the priestess of Jing and the 3 Taoist treasures, how to practice the microcosmic orbit, inner alchemy for sexual vitality, and how to heal sexual trauma. I'm going to teach you how to do this for yourself and your own personal healing, but also how to bring this to your work and your work with your clients so that they have tangible practices and a lifestyle to follow that actually invokes their sexuality and therefore their vitality. Month 6 is all about the ceremonial arts. So decoding your unique medicine. I am a teacher and a facilitator that really values everybody's unique medicine. I believe that we all have our own unique gifts. And when we pair those with our modality of Way of the Womb, it's not like a step-by-step process of what you need to do. It's actually like a guide that you get to fold your own unique wisdom and medicine into. So we're going to decode your unique medicine and help you better understand that. I'm going to teach you about psychic protection and energetic boundaries, how to open sacred space, how to close sacred space. We're going to be working with multidimensional energy and teaching you how to bring that into your own practice through the Akashic records and the quantum field. We're going to be working also with the wisdom of ancestral medicine and how that, weaves and dances within Way of the Womb. Month 7 is all about somatic feminine healing. We're going to dive really, really deep into this. Early in the training, we do touch on it, but this is like our month where we're going to dive really, really deep into somatic feminine healing through breath, sound, and movement, tantric feminine breath work, the wheel of emotional intelligence, looking at how to regulate nervous systems and heal through the nervous system, the art of unraveling trauma in the feminine body. And I'm going to teach you my favorite practice, the Taoist inner smile, and how that actually somatically blueprints women's bodies and lives and intelligence. Month 8, right, is all about organic feminine business. So how to create a sustainable business that honors your feminine, how to birth a legacy and not just a brand, finding your unique way of marketing, the art of contracts, confidentiality, and cohesiveness, structuring your practice for the long run, and how to host retreats and in-person womb work. Our final month in the Way of the Womb training is called Womb Priestess, and this is about learning the rituals of Womb Priestess. I'm going to help you birth your signature offer, and this is really a time where every woman gets to really be prepared to cross over the threshold of from being in this training to actually being a certified facilitator. We're going to help you build a signature offer that can be with you for the long run. We're going to go into like the messaging of it and the logistics, the essence, the energy, meeting the soul of the offer. And we're actually going to have space for a signature project to take place in this final month that is going to have something to do with your signature offer. So it's going to be a really fun month where we're going to take all of the information that we've learned thus far into the training and actually create a capstone experience that is not only educational and informational, but it's also going to be productive for your business and actually helping you have something that's solid and sustainable that you can repeat over and over again in your business. You're going to get my one-on-one help with it. You're going to get your peers to look at it, women that you respect to look at your offers, so that when you step beyond our training, you have something that is a capstone and a perfect expression of everything you've learned, what you fell in love with, and how you want to bring that to the world. And you have the skill to bring it to the world. How does that sound, right? That's awesome. So before we move forward, I know we've kind of like gone into like so many logistics. We love it. And also I want to take a moment for you to just drop into your body again, drop into your womb, and actually reconnect with that calling of why you feel called to womb work. So we're just going to do this for literally like a minute. I want you to breathe into your womb, maybe fluttering your eyes or closing them. or looking at your feminine body, whatever feels best for you. And I want you to just start making circles around your hips. Inhaling forward, exhaling back, making little circles with the top of your head, rotating around your pelvis. Breathing into your womb. Going the opposite direction now. And now bringing your hands to the womb space. As you breathe into your womb, I want you to begin to really feel your purpose, feeling your passion, what you know you came here to do, your purpose in the world. Feeling your calling as a womb healer and your readiness to expand, to bring your voice, your medicine, your work to the world, feeling that passion, that readiness to expand. Feeling way of the womb, her beautiful training, her beautiful essence in the room. And for the remainder of our call here, letting these two forces, your purpose and this training, hold you so that everything you see from this moment forward is helping you get even more clear to know if this training is for you, to be a yes or to be a no. So, with this connectivity to your own purpose, your own calling to be a womb healer, I want to tell you what you will walk away from this training with. Number one, you're going to walk away from this training with in depth knowledge on how to practice hands on womb work for women so that you can tend to their entire feminine body, doing womb massage, breast massage, energetic massage, internal pelvic floor work, somatic therapy, both in person and online. You're going to walk away from this training with a literacy in somatics and knowing the art of body and emotional intelligence and how to guide your clients through movement based practices that lead them to undeniable breakthroughs. You'll be walking away from this training with an understanding of trauma cycles, the nervous system, women's intelligence, and specifically how to de escalate and be adaptable in a variety of scenarios that can come up in your practice. This is really important because when we are doing womb work and we're practicing women's work in general, naturally stuff comes up. That's what our business is here for, to help things come up in our clients' life so that they can meet them and process them so that those stories and those experiences aren't taking so much space in their lives. And so one of my skills is actually knowing how to de-escalate when a trigger is coming up or when somebody's in a trauma response, and to be adaptable so that we can look at what's happening and understand what's happening and know how to shift it for healing, and vice versa in the case that somebody is numb or they're feeling avoidant towards something like that's happening in their body, and knowing how to actually escalate what's happening to bring it up for healing to take place. So you're going to walk away with knowing how to do that. You're going to walk away from this training knowing how to foster an online community that reflects your business goals and your sole purpose, all while feeling grounded in the reality that your work is bigger than you and deserves to be seen as a movement that is here to change the world. You're going to walk away from this training with that 100%. That is my deepest devotion. You're going to walk away from this training with knowing how to create truly powerful one-on-one and group leadership skills that empower you to dig deeper, to actively listen to your clients, and to create soul-shifting environments for your work. So this depends on your signature offer, your own blueprint of practicing organic feminine business. We're going to look at how to create true transformational containers within your business, whether that's in person or in group experiences online, how to create these and actually bring them to your world your work, how to actually bring your work to the world and create the transformations that you know is your purpose, how to actually make that happen. You're going to walk away from this training knowing how to naturally guide transformational experiences that women can't stop talking about. What I'm saying here is how to build a word of mouth practice. My hands-on womb healing practice has thrived for literally 4 years now, just through word of mouth. You know me, you know my work. How often do I promote my hands-on in-person sessions? Not that often, because it thrives through word of mouth. And this is really what has helped me have an expansive and abundant business that is organically moving in the world. And I'm not having to market it so much because it's so powerful that women can't stop talking about it. So I'm going to teach you how to do that for yourself as well. And lastly, you're going to walk away from this training with psychic and spiritual development that allows your facilitation to traverse the physical, emotional, and spiritual intelligence of your clients. You're going to walk away from this training with a deep understanding of the multi-layered sacred feminine wisdom that lives in female bodies through Taoist sexuality. I'm going to teach you how to do jade egg practices, how to lead breast massages, how to work with the meridians through Qigong, how to work with the healing sounds, the microcosmic orbit, inner smile, so many other practices. And lastly, my love, you are going to walk away from this training with my special touch of wisdom and business knowledge of both in-person client work, group settings like retreats, immersions, and other events so that you can take your business to the next level. I am really proud of this training. I'm really proud of its potential and how we can bring womb healing to the masses. And whether your vision is to do group work or one-on-one work or only hands-on work, or maybe you want to host immersions and retreats, like whatever your calling is, I give you my word, you're going to have my personal devotion to help you make that happen in this training. So with all of that being said, and what you're going to be walking away from this training with, everything that you're going to learn, the transformations that you're going to create in this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful practice of Way of the Womb, I want to take time to talk about enrollment and the cost of it and our payment plans. So Way of the Womb is a 9-month training, and the total cost for this training is $8,000. And I've had a lot of conversations through our applications and women who have been wanting to enroll in this training. And one of the main questions that comes up, which I'm so down to talk about anytime, is, wow, why is it $8,000? And my reason for, really when I was looking at this training and the education we're providing, the skills that we're providing, and the value that we are giving through having my one-on-one time, doing our in-person immersion, I really started to look at, okay, how much money am I making in my business, profiting in my business from womb work? And when I look at this training and what I want to train women in, how can I help them make as much as me or even more than me? And actually, that's how I created the training, is looking at what needed to happen for this training to actually expand you financially and professionally. And so that $8,000 tuition, I promise you, will be 10x'd by the end of our enrollment. By month 4, you can actually start practicing Way of the Womb. So our enrollment is just under $900 a month for the 9-month training. You can pay in full, which would be, the full tuition amount, or we have payment plans. We have an extended 12-month payment plan that is $670 a month. And then we also have a 9-month payment plan, which would be $888 a month. And so we really offered these payment plans to give women who just need the financial support to make it happen. Having that 12-month payment plan is a trust factor for both you and me, right? To make sure that you can follow this calling, that you can hear the calling to practice Way of the Womb. You know that this modality is the exact modality that you need. You feel the power in our business mastermind and how it's actually going to help you create your work in the world, right? And so I'm happy to offer payment plans to women who hear the calling and need financial support. And if you want to pay in full, we're here for that too. And to move forward and actually enroll, all you need to do is fill out an application. And from our application, we'll get a really clear idea of if this practice is for you. I'm just going to say we've had I think as of this morning, we had 23 women apply. Only 13 of them have actually been eligible up until this point to actually do this training. We're not just taking everybody. This is only for specific women, right? And so far, we have 5 women that have fully said, yes, they've enrolled, they've started their payment plan, or they paid in full, and they've moved forward. So you need to apply. We're going to make sure that this is right for you. I'm happy to hop on a call to like get a better feel for each other and go over your specific questions. And the women that this is for, we're very clear by the end of that application. And especially if we need to hop on a call, we're very clear of like, is this training actually for you? And is it actually going to help you expand in the way that you want to expand in this season of your life? So after you apply, we'll get clear, and then we have our agreement and our scheduling system that you have to get all signed up for. And then once you pay that invoice, you're officially enrolled, and we begin on February 22nd. So before we go into questions and Q&A moments, I want to share a story, one woman's story. Her name is Nanny Clem. And the reason why I want to share this story is because throughout this entire orientation, we've talked about what you'll be learning and how Way of the Womb is a modality that could actually expand your business, and how our business mastermind is here to hold everything you learn and help you actually create good work with it. And so I want to just actually tell you a story of how this is possible and the power of this work, and why women everywhere are in deep need of this work and willing to pay you great money for your great work. So Nanny and I worked together in Costa Rica, and she and I, this was like my first internal pelvic floor practice session. And we came together, and she had, when we do a session, before we do any work and we bring our hands to women's bodies, the first thing we go over are, what is your intention? What are your desires? What are your fears? And what are your boundaries? And the healing that took place really was so much bigger. And what actually came up in the session was so much bigger than what was in her desires and her intentions. And actually, her fears pointed straight to the experience that she was holding on to that she needed to release. And we honored her boundaries, and we listened to it all, and we made it happen. So we're moving through the session. We're doing breast massage, we're doing womb massage. She's crying, she's releasing, she's groaning, she's like releasing old frustration. And then when we finally get to the womb and we actually do internal pelvic floor work, this is a very intimate experience, right? Like, how often do women's bodies get to be tended to in this way? A lot of times when our yoni is involved, it's either purely sexual, or we're giving birth, or we're feeling insecure about it, right? So these are kind of the relationships that most women have with their yoni. So when a woman comes to receive internal pelvic floor work, it's very intimate, and there's a lot of sensitivity there. And the first thing that we do is we greet it. We're wearing gloves. It's very safe and secure and non-sexual in that way. And we bring our hand to the pubic mound, and we just hold, and we help her take a few deep breaths, and we help her ground. Immediately when we did this, Nanny started bawling, crying. This is where actually having the expanded bandwidth and this professional skill of holding womb work is so essential, because what comes up in these sessions is oftentimes really, really hard. It's hard to feel, it's hard to hold, it's hard to witness. But if you have the right skill, you know how to ground it and how to hold it and how to facilitate that transformation. So I'm holding Nanny, she's crying, and we start to massage her inner thighs, and we start to get closer to the outer labia. And all of this emotion starts pouring out of her body. She's crying, she's tearing up, she's guiding me, she's telling me where to move, where to go, what to do. And as we're doing the internal pelvic floor work and the yoni work, a memory comes up. And very sadly, Nanny is a woman who has experienced birthing a stillborn child. And when we went into the session, she had no intention of that coming up. She thought she had healed it. She thought it wasn't affecting her. Obviously, if you lose a child, it's always present, and it's something that's always on your heart. But she had felt like she had gotten to a point in her journey where it was all love and honoring and trusting. But what had happened is she had never actually processed the feeling and the emotion in her body of birthing a stillborn. And so as we're doing the internal pelvic floor work, we're actually working with the connective tissue and massaging out the stored trauma and memory of her birthing a stillborn. And I'm guiding her breath, I'm guiding her movement. We're working with the hands-on healing to bring it out. And she gets to this point that I remember it like this moment where it's like a crack in time happened. And she just, tears streaming down her face, she just paused and she took an exhale. And I will remember that for the rest of my life, because it was in that moment where I was like, oh my God, this work is powerful. Because when she was like, made that shift from like bawling, crying, shaking, be in a very deep emotional experience and release, to then pausing and taking a deep breath and exhaling, I felt the energetic shift in her body where her own emotional intelligence had shifted out of holding on to that memory, holding on to that trauma, holding on to the somatic experience of birthing the stillborn, to actually releasing it and closing that healing loop. In that moment in the exhale, it was so clear that she had closed that loop and that a new chapter had opened for her. From that moment on, she was buzzing. Like what happens when you heal your nervous system and your emotional intelligence is that life force begins to be able to freely flow in your body. So if you have like a kink in your neck and your shoulder, it's like something's being held there, right? We experience that all the time as humans. And then when it's in your womb and you heal the like kinks and this tense tissue and the somatic memories in the womb space, there's a huge rush of vitality that opens up in our bodies, because that's where the seat of our power is, right? It's like the Kundalini energy. We can get so deep into the energetics of the womb and the root and the sacral chakra, right? So when that block was cleared in her and she felt that coherence come back into place, all this vitality started to come back in line and her heart opened. And for the first moment in 8 years, the first moment since the loss of her child, she felt home again in her body. She felt like she could trust her body again, and she actually felt free from this experience in a way that she didn't know was possible. So she literally said, this pain was just sitting in me all of these years, waiting for me to feel it all. And so what we're providing in our Way of the Womb work with our clients is a space to feel it all, to be held as they feel it all, to bring them into their body so that they can feel it all, and giving them tools and practices and information to help them better understand what it means to be a woman. Womb work is for all women. Whether we have sexual trauma, whether we birth stillborns, whether we have a womb or we don't have a womb anymore due to hysterectomy, whether we are simply experiencing energy loss, vitality loss, whether we are having, frustrating experiences showing up in our relationships, whether we lack self-confidence, no matter what a woman is going through, Way of the Womb can help them. And the reason why it helps them is because we connect them back to their feminine wisdom. So whatever's happening in a woman's lifestyle, whatever's happening in a woman's experience, when she actually has the opportunity to experience womb work and come into her body and feel it all, it dramatically changes her life. So this is Nanny's story, and this is honestly the story of when I fell in love with hands-on womb work and being one of the rare women who's down to go touch the root of a woman's body to bring her all the way into her body and to heal whatever's causing her to disassociate in her life. So this work is so powerful and so deep and has the actual bandwidth to greatly transform women's lives. And I'm so grateful for it. And I'm really grateful for the women that hear the calling to join Way of the Womb, because this is something that's bigger than us. I firmly believe that this is a cultural shift, and that the women who are ready to practice womb work are the ones who are paving the pathway for a whole new paradigm of what it means to be a woman on earth. So if you hear the calling, know that it is not just your desire, but it's your whatever you're desiring you. It's like a prayer that you're catching, because there are people out there who need the medicine that you feel called to provide. So we're going to take some time to go through our Q&A. And if you have any questions that come up later, just know that you can reach out and ask me. I'm super, super, super available to drop into anything with you one-on-one, but we're going to answer some questions here. You can just write them in the comments and we will go ahead and answer this way. Thank you all so much for being here with me. Okay, I got some questions coming in. Okay, let's see here. Okay, Olivia asked earlier, and we'll clarify this. So Olivia asked, is the in-person immersion all-inclusive? Okay, so the in-person immersion is not a retreat. The in-person immersion is a proper immersion where you're going to come to Austin and you're going to come to my home, you're going to come to our sanctuary where we're going to be practicing, and then you provide your own accommodation and your own food and meals. And so this is kind of like a choose your own adventure, epic sleepover with your sisters that you connect with in the training, and really an opportunity to like come and get wisdom and get information and then take it home with you and start practicing. So it's not all inclusive, but all of the extra costs of like training materials and everything that you'll need as far as the immersion will be provided outside of your accommodations and your food. Great. Okay. Okay, Jessica said, I've seen a lot out there. I'm imagining that you are speaking to a lot of training. So I've seen a lot out there. I've done some trainings. What makes Way of the Womb unique? I would say what makes Way of the Womb unique is that we are actually giving you space in this training to be seen, held, and invited to share your own unique medicine. And we're going to be taking time to look at how this modality of womb work meets you individually and giving devotion through our business mastermind to make that happen for you. And so this training is not like one that you just come and take and then afterwards, like you feel the need to go and take another training or hire a business mentor to help you bring it into the world. Like this is a training that's like a really, really big opportunity to expand because you're going to learn the professional skill, right? But we're going to also help you take this professional skill and create a soul-centered feminine healing business from it. So I think that's the most unique aspect of Way of the Womb that I haven't seen happen before in any training, is that it's actually here for your expansion. It's not just here to teach you the professional skill, which is so valuable and so needed, but it's also here to help you expand through our business mastermind and your one-on-one session with me. Okay, Heidi said, I remember seeing that you had scholarships. Do you still have scholarships available? Okay, thank you for asking this question. I forgot to touch on that. So we do have 2 scholarship spots open and available for Way of the Womb. This is specifically for women who are just in need of help. So say for instance, you've been through like a health crisis, you're going through a divorce, you're a single mother. There can be many, many experiences in our lives as women where we just need some help. And so for me, I've been there before. And I know that seeing a training and seeing something that you really, 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 really feel called to train and learn in, and you feel like, yes, like I need this and this is my purpose, like this is what I need. And to see the price tag and not be able to do it, like that experience sucks, right? So in Way of the Womb, we're offering a scholarship for women who just need the help to make it happen. And we have one more scholarship spot available, and I actually am waiting to make the decision on who gets that scholarship spot. And after orientation, we're going to probably choose like on Monday, tomorrow at some point, just to give time for anybody in this call who is interested in the scholarship opportunity, the time to reach out. So if you feel the calling and you're like, I want to do this and you just need financial support, please don't hesitate to reach out and we'll send you the information for our scholarship. So yeah, just to answer your question, we still have space for one more woman to get the scholarship. So make sure that if you feel the calling to join and you need the financial help, just reach out immediately to get the scholarship. You can reach out to me on Instagram or you can email me directly. I love this comment. It's kind of a question. I really want to become a womb healer, but this feels so edgy for me. How can I move forward? I really want to become a womb healer, but this feels so edgy for me. How can I move forward? I remember that feeling. The best way that I know how to move forward when I hear the calling to do something and it feels edgy is to meet that edge. Because an edge is showing us where we currently are and like what we know that we can do, or like where we are comfortable, right? So an edge is showing us like that boundary of where we're comfortable. And so by meeting the edge, and whether that's like this, taking a professional training or investing in yourself, or asking somebody out, or whatever it is in life, like becoming a mother, when we meet an edge, it actually shows us that on the other side of this edge is our greatest expansion. So if you feel called to become a womb healer, meet whatever that edge is, whatever that's like. Quite literally, you're scared to bring your hands to a woman's body, or you're uncomfortable investing in yourself, or you're scared of what the people in your life will think if you're practicing womb healing. Meet that edge. Look at whatever it's telling you, whatever its story is, meet it, have a conversation with that edge, and see what's on the other side of that edge. Give yourself permission to peer what's on the other side of that edge, and ask yourself honestly, am I ready to go there? Like, is that the life I want? And if it's a yes, take the leap. Take the leap and expand. Okay, my loves. Thank you so much for these questions. If you have any more questions, those of you who are listening to the replay, just please know to reach out to me, email me, message me on Instagram. Don't be a stranger. We can hop on a call and go into all the details of your question. I'm happy to take time to connect with you. And I just want to close out by saying thank you so much. Thank you so much for hearing the calling. Thank you so much for trusting me enough to listen to this and tune in with me and feel the fullness of what I'm creating in the world. It really means a lot to me that you're part of this, that you're part of the vision that I have of women feeling liberated in their bodies and feeling resourced and tap into their pleasure and their power and their purpose through womb healing. So thank you. I humbly bow to you, and I really hope that you're able to join our training. This is going to be a really big, beautiful, brilliant opportunity, and I know that every woman that does join Way of the Womb 9 months from now is going to be in the greatest, deepest expression of her power and her purpose. Like that's the vision we're holding. Like, your calling's womb work. I'm going to help you get there in a really, really big way. So I'm very excited. Thank you again for joining us for this orientation call. I hope it was helpful. And don't be a stranger. Reach out if you have any more questions. Okay. Have a beautiful Sunday. I'm going to go dye some plant fiber fabric with my girlfriends and have a beautiful day. So I hope that you are doing something fun and nourishing and playful today too. All right. See you on the other side.